My OBS is still linked to my snowball, which is behind my monitor. So, as we were talking about this, I was procrastinating and moving my snowball to my desk.
Good effort.
So, you know,
professional.
Hopefully that helps a little bit. I don't know if that's close enough.
I mean, I'm listening to you on Skype, which sounds fine. So
yeah, but you're listening on Skype. You're listening to me from my
yeah,
brain.
so it's not my problem, is it? So.
Andy, bad.
Hello.
So you're not even using your fancy new headset?
No.
Which I'm using. Check out the sweet RGB.
Oh.
Like, can you even see it?
Yeah, it's gone blue, and it was pink now, and red, and orange, and yellow, and green.
It's an entire waste of money. I paid like extra for that.
How are you doing, Josh? How's your day? Are you on the way to work? Are you leaving to work now? But yeah, it's been a month.
It has been a month.
Roundabout.
A month? Real?
Yeah.
Only.
And you know, this I didn't know. I wasn't sure if the podcast was going to come back, to be honest. But
what?
It's here. Like I wasn't sure what the result of that month hiatus was going to be. But it was good. It was good, and we talked, and we replaced Luke permanently. And his Cam is replacement. Cam, say hi.
Winner, chicken dinner.
No. Luke couldn't be here today, and Luke is not going to be around a lot, like pretty often, because his schedule's super hectic. So Cam is part of our extended crew, which also includes Lewis. And they're going to be our regular kind of Luke replacements. And
Luke 2.0.
And replacements for other people as well, like if Andy or me ever like tap out. So maybe one day you'll get a podcast with Lewis, Cam, and one of.
Maybe there'll be a
hosts.
Cam hosted Spawn Point podcast.
Oh
yeah, I could see that.
Let the disaster begin. That is all I can say.
Curious question, says Josh. Have you
that
heard
will
from
become
Luke?
a madness.
Yes, we've actually talked to Luke. I know, it's surprising. I know.
Yeah, funny that, isn't it?
Just like, who knew Luke was even alive anymore? Well, we found out. We have talked to Luke.
I talked to Luke one time, then he said he couldn't come on the podcast.
Yeah, then he disappeared again, back into the void.
He surfaced from his cave and no one back in. No, leave me alone.
It's funny, I've talked to Luke more on the mobile phone than on Discord, which is really weird. Like,
yeah.
I just realised my shirt matches the whole situation you have going on with your...
Yeah, Slimo guys, oh my god, Gavin Payouts, we're sponsoring you. There's so much Slimo guys sponsorship right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, we talked to Luke. He's alive. He's okay. He's doing his thing. Whatever that is. And it's also having been a month, I imagine a decent amount of stuff has been going on in everybody's lives.
Yes.
Do you wanna start us off? Do you wanna tell us what's going on in your life, Cam?
No, I don't.
There you go.
No. I can't.
Andy!
Hello.
Tell us about the past month. Tell us about your
The year
meditation
was
in the Himalayas.
2017. Yeah, I work on a farm now, or a zoo farm. Farm zoo.
It is a bit of both, really.
It's a farm zoo.
Yeah.
It's an interesting place.
Yeah.
Just find Andy telling me about it. It's interesting. I can't imagine working there. Sounds crazy.
I write websites, I handle rats, and I occasionally make signs about tractors.
Rats as in like actual rats, or rats as in people rats?
What's a people rat?
I don't know, just
Like,
people rat.
just a bad person. Really.
Have you not seen Harry Potter?
A proper person.
The dude turns
I wasn't.
the rat man. Yeah.
Initially, wasn't actually referencing that, but it just sort of it
That's
works.
a good cover, I guess. Yeah.
What is this light?
Andy also handles people rats.
I handle people rats. I handle human rats and rat rats.
Sweet.
Yeah, I do. Right now, I'm making promotional material, so I don't know what my job is right now.
Yeah, Andy's job is all of the above.
All the jobs. My job is
that's what it just said on
they just sort of point at the zoo, like, yeah, that's you.
It's like all of these jobs that are available.
What have I done so far? I've decorated an event thing. I hosted an event. I organised a magician. I wrote a website. I researched about animal types, and now I'm making a children's activity flyer. So I don't know what my job is.
That's a weird mix of things.
Maybe one day I'll find out.
Who can say?
Yeah.
It's Yorkshire for you.
Yeah. Right. Well, did you? I've just been working for a month, which is pretty.
What's it like being an adult now?
It's really good, you know. I dig it. I'm into it.
Okay.
You know, I have friends who are on both sides of the spectrum. You know,
I enjoy it.
Friends who are like, I don't like that work thing that I'm doing, and then I have friends who are like, I real dig it. I'm definitely on that side. I'm not like I talked to like one of my friends at uni, Tom. He works. To be fair, his job's kind of crap. But
what's a job?
He gets paid well. He works for Bet365, and he just does like.
Does he write those terrible adverts that come up in between football matches?
Unfortunately not.
You should feel bad if he did that.
No, he's basically just in charge of like not in charge of, but on the team that's in charge of like their SQL and their databases and stuff. And it just sounds like a really boring job.
Sounds incredibly exciting.
He gets paid a lot.
You'd have to pay to do that, I guess.
But yeah, I have a couple of friends who are like, I'm not really down, or like I'm not really enjoying it, or whatever. But yeah,
I feel like
how do you not just get bored?
Yeah, right. I feel like if I didn't have like a 9 to 5, like 5 days a week, I would be really bored. I get bored in my days off anyway.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it too. Yeah, I mean, it helps that like my workplace is really cool and everyone's really chill and stuff. But also like just constant like activity and mental stimulation and stuff is it's a big thing. You know, like I've never really been a huge fan of like long holidays. Like anything over 2 weeks for me is just way too long.
2 weeks? No, gross.
And yeah, and I
don't know.
I think this works.
I did a long holiday.
I took 8 days off.
You were working in your holiday camp. Take that back.
I know, and I had a stupidly stressful job as well in my holiday.
Wind Nightmare the original. Wind. Hello, Wind.
Oh.
I was just reading a name from chat. It's a very long name.
Just started shouting at me.
I've taken 8 days off for holidays so far, and I've got 20 more, and I don't know what the hell I'm going to do with them. Like, what do I do with those?
20 more? I only get 20.
Yeah, I was thought the count got short-changed on his holidays.
Yeah, you get shafted.
Yeah, I guess I get
paid America,
a lot, so
you know.
Yeah.
I get paid a lot, so I don't mind for now.
Yeah.
If you're watching this, boss, I like it.
Hey!
Good thing.
Yeah.
It's good.
Do you want me to talk about my life changes?
If you're feeling cool.
I don't know why I said no earlier.
Just the calls I felt.
For comedic effect, maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel weird going first. I got 2 kittens. That's a pretty big thing. They may make an appearance. I don't know. My door is open and Gizmo will come wandering in.
They're so cute. They're so cute.
Kamal met them on Saturday.
Yeah. Oh my god, they're super cute, and coming from like a half feral, half like domesticated kitty, it's just amazing. It's just because you could just do whatever you want to those kittens.
Yeah, I spin them around and like dangle them and do all kinds of stuff to them.
They're super chill about it.
Yeah, they're just the chillest.
I know what I'm doing when I come to see.
And Andy is going to meet them. Andy's going to meet them next weekend. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Hype.
I guess my other big life change is I finally got, well, not finally, I got a new car.
Oh yeah.
So
It was
Kamal
very,
is
I've
also
also, yeah, I've been for a
Also
ride.
gonna meet that next weekend.
Yeah.
And he's also going to be that. I'm just a slag her. That's just
That's what you
how's it
do.
go?
You get nice things and you share them with people. That's all that matters.
I do. I get it for other people's enjoyments.
Sure.
So
No, I love my car.
So I won't be able to
Apart from
stay with me. It's like I have this nice thing now.
apart from the fact that when I put my foot down, I just see my money fly out of the exhaust like £20 notes.
Yeah,
just going.
he's not kidding. I think he eats petrol.
It goes through petrol like a mother trucker. It's crazy. Although it's calmed down a bit now. I'm up to like 23 mpg, so.
Oh wow, so that's
This is the high end.
This is I saw it. It nearly hit 24, and then I put my foot down and back down again.
No.
But I don't care. I didn't buy it to like watch the MPG. I bought it to enjoy it.
I feel like if you bought that sort of car and expected to get good mileage, you'd have issues.
Oh, speak of a little kitten. Come here, Gizmo.
Of course it's Gizmo. Gizmo is a freaking attention seeker. He is.
This is Gizmo.
You're just like, what's happening? I don't
Look,
know.
he goes where the camera is straight away.
Hey, Gizmo.
We can just swing him around. He doesn't care.
That's crazy.
This is Gizmo. But yeah, they're my life changes. God, he's getting big now though, holy.
Yeah,
He's only... How old are you, dude? He's like 3 months old. And he's already quite big.
He's a giant. He's me out a tiger.
Yeah, well they're Maine Coons, so like I'm expecting bigness.
Tigers.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's all for me, I think.
Nice.
Noise! Fully up to date on everyone's lives. Now, what games have you guys been playing in the past month? It's been a month. You must have dabbled in some diddles, dibbled in some dabbles,
You'd think so.
played some video games.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But no.
No! Nothing? Tekken, Andy.
Oh yeah,
we
we
played Tekken.
did we do a podcast when we did Tekken? Was that after Pirate?
I think it was... I don't know, but...
It might have been just... But yeah, Tekken.
You know what,
yeah,
like
that was-
you could cross over into before a little
the
bit
last,
to like bring
I
us
think
up
the
to
last
date.
game I played. I think the last game I bought was Tekken. We played Tekken. We've even played Payday a bit.
Oh yeah,
Oh, Payday, I like Payday.
much
Yeah,
payday
Payday's
has
cool.
been happening.
Yeah, there was a lot of Payday, especially when Spodo was around.
That game sounds fun.
It's a fun game. You get to shoot people or not shoot people.
Whoa! New options
throw
in
grenades.
games.
I'll
Oh my
throw
God.
grenades when you
Grenades
meet.
all the time when you're stealthing.
Truly the
That
future.
only happened 3 times in a row.
Oh,
Damn it, Andy.
right at the end as well, so we'd have everyone.
Oh,
back
so
and
bad.
sorted.
We had to steal. What do we have to
And
steal?
I'd be like,
We had to steal a bomb part out of a train.
Yeah.
didn't we?
Is Payday one of
And I'd
those
be
like you have to do it
creeping.
in the run things, like no saves, no like.
yeah.
Yes, so you got to do it.
You get one attempt.
Oh my God.
I'd be like creeping under a train, and then all of a sudden I just hear this massive explosion, and Andy's just silent. I'm like, oh, right, okay. And all the alarms start going, and you've been detected.
I mean, I wasn't
You
silent
did.
about it the second time, was it?
We
To be
know
fair.
what you did.
I can just hear like little squeals as Andy throws another grenade. The grenade.
Look, it's someone else's fault.
Yeah, Payday's fun. Tekken is really fun as well.
Tekken's fun if frustrating, especially when you play against someone who plays as Jack. It's absolutely the most spammy
Really?
character ever. I hate it.
And these big like.
It's fucking badoosh shotgun arms. This is not fun.
Yeah.
I think it's fun.
I'm sure you did. I mean, it was quite funny at the time, but
I played some.
Final
Sorry.
Fantasy.
Oh yeah, Final Fantasy 15 is what
Well,
else you're playing, right? Go.
Yeah, that's what I recently started playing. I'm enjoying it. I bought it like 2 weeks ago
Yeah.
and didn't touch it. I don't particularly know why.
Yeah, happens.
And then I just decided on Sunday, I think it was, just to pick it up, and I played it for like 5 hours straight.
nice.
I had a solid session on it, and I've only finished chapter 1. And I think there's like 10 chapters maybe.
Sweet,
So I'm
sweet.
reckoning like 40-hour gameplay, which I'm pretty happy with them.
Yeah.
I've been playing all kinds of games as well because of Kamal.
Because of me?
The Snippy game.
Oh yeah! Yeah. When Cam's been over, we've been playing Mario Kart, which is pretty self-explanatory. But we've also been playing a game called Snipper Clippers.
What the hell is Snipper? Tell me more.
The best game in the universe is Snipper
Snipper
Clippers.
Clippers,
Snipper Clippers is a co-op game. Okay, I'm going to try and explain this, but it's actually a pretty unique concept. So it's 2 to 4 players, and you play as like these pieces of paper cut like shapes, right? And then when you walk to each other, you can cut each other into other shapes.
Kinky.
And then it's just a puzzle game where like you have to do things with these pieces of paper, right? So like sometimes you have to cut each other so you can like make a certain specific shape together, or sometimes you have to cut someone into a shape so he can carry a thing to move it from one location into another thing. And it's just a puzzle game about shapes and cutting and goofing around, and it's really well executed, I think, is the thing about it. Like,
I'm thinking it sounds a little bit like Thomas Was Alone.
No, nothing like Thomas Was Alone.
No?
Shut down that idea.
You have different shapes and you have to use each other's shapes.
Yeah, like... no, I can see how you got there from what I'm saying, but it's a bit...
Okay.
But like, it's just like it's one of those things that you kind of have to watch.
It's just not.
It's just
like that thing that I
that.
said, but that's actually in fact wrong.
I mean, no, it's exactly what I said.
It's just all
you can interpret that in multiple ways, like anything.
And I did it wrong.
Yeah, like you try to interpret a color that you've never seen.
Don't talk to me about interpreting colors, Kamal.
Yeah, see,
I'm
you'd be wrong at that.
Yeah, you're the weird. You're the one that's weird.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm right though.
The one who can see colours, Kamal. Screw you.
Look, I've got a video of it. I've got a video of it playing silently on stream, and it'll come up in a bit. But point being, it's really fun. I'm gonna bring it to EGX so like we can play more. Cam and me finished the first one. I thought that was the entire game because it's super cheap. It's the game's 15 quid, so I thought that was the entire 2-player, and I thought the rest of it was going to be like the 4-player and the like random stuff. But no, there's at least 2 whole worlds, it's just really really fun and stupid, and like I said, the execution I think is part of the thing that sells it. Like your characters have these faces on them that are just like so funnily animated as you move and walk around. They like react, and like it's great. It's super cute.
So you can like creep. You can creep really well.
Oh, yeah. Something else I've been playing.
What have you been playing?
I've been playing some more of the Little Nightmares DLC.
I don't like that game.
How did you find it?
I haven't finished it yet, but it's
better than the original, worse than the original, as good as the original?
I would say it's as good as the original.
Nice.
Seems to be along. It's actually just from what I've gotten so far. It's just like another stage of the original.
Yeah.
So,
it's 3 episodes, right?
No, I thought it was 1 episode. Okay, I guess I've actually been playing it more.
No, sorry, not 3 episodes. Sorry, 1 episode, 3 chapters, right? Something like that.
Yes, that sounds more correct. Because I've done one.
Like there's 3 levels is what I kind of like meant. Like how like Little Nightmare was like 5 levels.
Yes, I believe I'm on the 2nd level.
Only Little Nightmares was very short.
Yeah, and evil.
No, it's gorgeous.
And it twisted your heartstrings.
Oh, yeah. God, I wasn't even emotionally attached to the game. I was just watching that bit of the stream.
Little Nightmares.
Yeah, it's that bit. Yeah, it's that bit.
It's yeah.
I did not enjoy it at all.
It's I love it. I love it so much. I love everything about that game.
It's so good. Yeah.
Kamal.
I like my creepy claymation stuff.
Yeah.
I've been playing Horizon Zero Dawn. Not much. It's very hard to convince myself. I can't. It's not a weekday game. Like it's not a game I'm gonna sit down and play for like 2 hours on a weekday. It's more like a weekend game. Like I want to dedicate more time to it than that. But I've been doing stuff on weekends. like I was hanging out with Cam this weekend. I was, and like for one of the days, and then like Sunday's my like clean the house day and like get my life together day.
Kamal's house is really nice as a side note, like over there. Note. The decor in the living room, top notch. Tumblr ready as well. So
yeah, we're gonna take some
Tumblr pictures to come.
Yeah, we're gonna do some Tumblr
Keep
pictures.
growing your hair out, Andy.
No, I'm not growing my hair out again. I can't
long, Andy.
No, I don't want this. I'll get me a wig. I'll wear the wig.
But yeah, so I only really have like Friday and Sunday if I want to play like a game for like more than like 2 hours basically. And I just haven't been finding the time to play Horizon Zero Dawn, but I love it. It's beautiful. The gameplay feels really visceral. Like when you fight the machines, they feel like really just alive. Like in the way they react to like stuff is very organic. Yeah, it's a great game. I can see why like people loved it so much. I showed Cam a bit of The Legend of Zelda, gushed over it for about 10 minutes.
I enjoyed it.
But yeah,
it looks good.
That game is also just amazing, and people should play it. And I'm so sad that it's a Nintendo exclusive.
A little kitten moaning at me. Whoa! Shush.
Other than that, yeah, I haven't really been playing anything else. There's 2 games that I really want to play, but I haven't played them at all. So
what were they?
Pyre, which is the new game from Super Giant, and the God, I always forget this game's name. The oh my God, kitten. Cam, I'm trying to think. What Remains of Edith Finch? Yes, that's the one.
Yes, that's the one. Yeah.
Yeah, which I will definitely have finished next weekend, so I'll talk about it next podcast. I'm definitely gonna play that.
What kind of game's that?
A weird one. I don't know. I've been avoiding everything about gameplay, but if you look at the pictures or like videos and trailers, you can't tell because like it's apparently kind of a pretty unique experience. But it's a storytelling game. Like it's very short, 2 to 3 hours. I hear like a one sitting type game. Yeah. I don't know. I'll be able to say a bit more next week, I guess. But I'm sure if you Google it and watch some playthroughs, you get it. From what I understand, it's you're exploring this house to find out more about the history of this person called Edith Finch, and every room in this house changes the gameplay of the game.
Sounds kind of like Gone Home.
Except was actual gameplay.
Yes, except with gameplay. Okay. Alright.
Anything that Andy tries to compare games. Come on, I was like, yeah, but no. Not really.
No, he's right though. It is like Gone Home in the sense that it's like this first-person story exploration. But like, I don't know if you played Gone Home, Cam, but Gone Home is literally just reading things.
I'm just enjoying.
I'm not trying to be a dick. I just am a dick.
It just occurs by itself.
Yeah. I also kind of like not a huge fan of Chinese Room and the guys who make Gone Home and stuff. So you know,
fair enough.
They're stupid people. That's all I have to say.
Okay. Right.
We'll go into this later.
Look, so Xbox announced. I'm gonna get into this. Xbox announced that they're gonna let you. By the way, you can refund games on Xbox now. Was the exact same policy as the Steam refund. Policy.
It's really good, huh?
Yeah. So you can. What's it called? You can refund it if you haven't played it for 2 hours, or you haven't owned it for 2 weeks. So if you've owned it for 2 weeks and you haven't played it at all, too late. But if you've owned it for less than 2 weeks and you've played it for less than 2 hours, you can refund a game.
So you could speedrun Little Nightmares and return it for free.
Yeah, you could do that. You could do that with a lot of games, but nobody does that. There is no evidence to prove that people that enjoy a game return it. You know, it's just like it doesn't exist in games, and it doesn't exist in any other like industry where return policies are that rampant, right?
Yeah.
Like, but the guys at the Chinese room who make all these stupid walking simulator pieces of trash, right? Think for some reason that like everyone is an asshole, and they got like massively pissed off at Microsoft. They were like, "Oh, now we're gonna like make no money because all our games are less than 2 hours or whatever." And it was just like, all you're doing by saying that is saying that everyone that buys your games are dicks. That's basically what you're saying. You're just saying, well, my audience is dicks.
So therefore everyone else is a dick, right? That's how that works.
Just stupid, and I don't like them. And I'm giving them, by the way, my retelling of their tweets is generous. Like, they were like really sweary and vile and like full of hatred when they were tweeting about this.
So it's just spitting a bunch of childish whining.
Yeah, like, just because like gamers can refund stuff they don't want. Oh no. I mean, if you surely if they trusted the quality of your product, you'd be like, oh, whatever. You know? Whatever, Trevor. But yeah, tangent. Tangent. Hate field track tangent. Do you want to talk? Let's talk about some of the news for the past week. This isn't or the past month. I say perfect segue would be the Destiny beta, since we're kind of talking about stuff we played.
Okay, let's do it. Yeah, okay.
Oh, God.
Okay, so Destiny 2 had a beta last weekend?
Yes.
No, the weekend before. Yeah, I mean, like, the weekend before last weekend. Like, last weekend's technically, like, yesterday. Yeah, before yesterday.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Destiny had a beta.
Destiny had a beta on the 21st of July. There we go.
Yeah.
The beta included one strike, which is a story-esque mission where you and up to 2 other people go through a level and kill people and destroy a boss at the end, right?
Yes.
It also had one story mission that you had to play, which was the tutorial story mission right at the beginning, and you played that alone, and that's the fall of the
big tower thing.
The tower, yeah, like, which is the old hub from Destiny 1. And then it had 2 multiplayer modes, competitive and regular, of the exact same mode, but they were classed as like
basically the same thing.
Yeah. And that was a capture the flag, right? Capture the flag.
It was capture points rather than capture the flag.
Yeah, like a domination type thing.
Yeah, it was like capture territories.
I played all of the above except for the competitive. Not very much of the capture points, though. What did you guys end up playing?
I played obviously you had to put a single player thing to do it.
Mm-hmm.
I did the strike twice, and I played a little bit more of the multiplayer than you did, but only like by about 2 rounds.
Oh, 2 strikes. Andy's a true Destiny fanboy now.
Yeah, I'm well good, right?
And Cam.
I played an amount of that capture the point thing. I don't know how much.
Yeah.
Started the strike about 5 times. Finished it 0. Big fat 0.
Yeah.
Because every time I got to the boss, it would either crash Destiny, and then when I tried to rejoin it wouldn't work. It'd disconnect me from the servers for some bizarre reason. Or it would just get me stuck in a loop of a loading screen for some bizarre reason.
So basically, Cam was just the best Destiny beta player ever because they got tons of troubleshooting information off him.
I tried 5 times to do that stupid strike. I got to the massive hole where you could jump in.
That is
as
so
soon
weird.
as I stepped foot in that hole, that's it, I'm done.
That is so, like...
It's really odd, right?
Because, like...
It's not it was an actual repeatable error, because it was different like, every time.
And I heard, like, overall, I heard that it ran fairly well. Like, I didn't hear that this was a widespread issue that people had going into it. It's very weird.
Bruh.
Google it right now and do a live search.
I enjoyed what I played, but it's just overshadowed by the fact that I couldn't finish the strike.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't...
Because I could hear all you guys being like, oh, look at the size of this boss and all this.
Yeah. Because the boss was pretty cool. Yeah, he was this huge dude. He was protected by a bunch of Harrys, or a bunch of Henrys, and
Henrys.
And then when you like each stage that you beat him, like the floor drops and you like land in kind of a new arena. and then you fight him again, and the floor drops again, and you land in a new arena, and then you get to the final stage, and he starts sending these shockwaves out throughout like the floor, so you have to dodge, like you have to dodge them while attacking him.
What was he called?
I don't know.
I actually want to see.
All I know is he's protected by Henrys. They're not called Henrys. I think they're called
The
Harpies.
boss guy. The boss from the strike.
Big Fecker, I don't remember.
They're called Harpies, but I read it Henry by accident.
No, let's call them Henry now.
They're Henrys
Henry.
forever, little Henrys.
Yeah, all that damn Henrys.
I killed a lot of Henrys.
Yeah.
I'm trying to find out what the boss looks like, and the Google Chrome's crashed. What the
Who's not allowed to see the boss?
The moment Cam sees him, the world ends.
Yeah.
Okay, was it Prothean Modular Mind? Yes, it was.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Modular Mind? Is that what it is? Modular Mind?
Yeah, as a person who didn't really play the first Destiny because it wasn't really my sort of game, I kind of liked it. It was pretty cool.
Yeah, the last Destiny I played was Destiny 1 beta.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I never actually got the actual game.
No.
You never actually played full Destiny?
No, I didn't like the beta so much. I didn't buy the game. And I was super hyped to get the game, and then I picked the beta up and I played it. And I was like, nope.
Why did you not like it in the beta? Like, what turned you off?
Okay, it's been a very long time.
Yeah.
But I'll try and articulate what I felt after the beta. I felt like the game was really grey. I remember specifically feeling like it didn't have much personality. After the beta, which was like it didn't make me want to play more of it, like to see the rest of the story of the game, because there was actually like zero story in the beta, and it turned out not to be a representative thing of the real game, so that was right. The other thing is I didn't think the enemies were interesting. It was I think the beta, if I remember correctly, was very much like spawn a room full of things, kill them.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there wasn't much interesting variety in the enemies or anything.
It was just rinse and repeat.
Yeah, just overall, it kind of felt almost like, when they were saying it's not an MMO FPS, I kind of felt like it was an MMO FPS in the sense that MMO, it felt MMO-ish in its laziness in design, because MMOs tend to not have the best designed areas in sacrifice for size and scope and stuff, but Destiny didn't have the size or the scope in the beta, or the final game even. And it felt kind of... See you, Josh. Yeah, it felt kind of bad.
Oh, yeah.
This one, contrary to that, started off with the single-player story mission that was story and cutscenes and scripted events galore. And then you go up to at the end of the single-player cutscene, you meet this evil boss alien dude, and he's you're pathetic, and you're only a hero because you don't know what the fear of death anymore, because you can respawn in the Destiny universe. For people that didn't know that, I didn't know that. And he kicks your ghost respawn machine away, and then he kicks you off a freaking ship. And I was like, dude, I want to freaking kill that guy, and he's so cool, and I want to be his friend at the same time. So I was hyped from that, and then they throw you into the strike. Well, at least I choose to play the strike because I don't care about competitive at all, other than one player at all.
Yeah.
And so I
feel
played
like
the
I'm
strike.
not really going to play multiplayer much at all.
I chose to start the strike.
And I felt like the strike level design was cool. It had it was all these floating rock stuff, and it had
so much variety.
Yeah, it had the jumpy portals. You could jump portal around and be idiots like me and Chris and Luke were. And then but also it did have and I think No Man's Sky's officially ruined space for people, because it felt a little No Man's Sky in its space design, but I think everything does. I looked at Mass Effect Andromeda and I saw a little No Man's Sky in its space design. I was just what have you done, No Man's Sky? You just ruined space games for me.
You poisoned me.
So that was I wasn't super into that. But then that was at the beginning when you're outside, and then you go into the tunnels. And it just freaking switches up. It's you're in these close quarter tunnel fights, and then you get out of that, and there's a massive spinny disc thing that's trying to kill you, and there's aliens shooting you.
Thing, yeah.
Yeah.
The drill.
Yeah,
the big
drill. And you fight on a drill thing, and it's boss. I liked it. It was exciting and fresh. and it felt like, I mean,
Like
contrast that was like the original Destiny beta where it was like corridor room. Like it's just a completely different level design experience.
Yeah.
I like the depth of it. No, not the depth, the scale.
Yeah.
It seemed massive when you were jumping off like
Those
blocks
big
onto lower things down. It was like,
And those
size
are
looked huge.
they're small levels. The strikes.
Those are small levels?
Yeah, the strikes are apparently the
Wow.
small levels.
No, they were cool. I enjoyed it. It was very much like linear, obviously, because it's trying
Yeah.
to force you to go towards a story, but I still thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I very much enjoyed the start of it.
The I will say it was obviously it was very short. I mean, I know Cam never got to the end, so he doesn't know. But
It wasn't much longer.
Seemed pretty lengthy to me after 5 times of doing it.
it was like a solid like 45 minutes, like at the most. I feel like of gameplay. The strike, and you know, that's good and bad. Like it's good obviously because like they're keeping it all to themselves, like for the final game. Not too much spoilers. I'd say it still leaves a lot up for like debate on like the kind of like, it doesn't guarantee that the rest of the story is going to follow suit and be able to maintain that momentum and that variety. But I mean, the only way you'll ever know that is if you buy the final game. So
That's true.
yeah.
Which I probably will.
Yeah, I don't think I'd probably consider it. There's not really many other games I want to buy this year. I think this might be one of them.
I'll be getting it, and I feel like if a beta makes me get the game, yeah, I mean, like
It's done its job, right?
it's done its job. Yeah, that's a successful beta.
Yep, that's what you want.
So top.
Yeah.
Top. I'm looking at the PC specs here on the stream. Nothing too crazy. Because Destiny 2 is also coming on PC. It's crazy. Crazy times.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's got to visit after console, though, right?
Yeah, the PC. I mean, the PC beta's late August.
Yeah.
August 28th is the beta,
I don't follow stuff.
and then the PC release is like a month after consoles. And you know, it's just them perfecting, making it a better game. Is all. just master race things, you know. And then the Xbox One X release is going to be alongside the Xbox One X release, apparently. So if you own Destiny on an Xbox One, when the Xbox One X comes out, there will be an update day one that makes it 4K for the Xbox One X, which is pretty dope.
Xbox One X, yes.
That's the name ever, right?
Dude, you know, talking about it hurts me. Like, I just feel like I'm repeating myself. Xbox One X, Xbox One X. I was just like, freaking it hurts inside.
Stop making me say it. I hate it.
Stupid name. It's a stupid name. It's dumb.
It's a stupid name. You're correct.
But yeah, so that was my first piece of news. My second piece of news is the Overwatch League. We talked about this back a long time ago now. I want to say
it was announced in like April or something, wasn't it? April,
like April. April, I think is right. April sounds right.
Like that.
Around then, either way, was back when Blizzard announced that they wanted to make a professional Overwatch League that was officially monitored by them. So the most comparable thing to this would be the League of Legends World Championships, or like the Smite Championships, or the Dota Championships. But they're nothing like it, really.
Yeah, it's a totally different setup and layout and structure, right?
Yeah, Blizzard like specifically said they were building this thing from the ground up to be more like an actual sports league than an esports league, and they were taking cues from football, Premier League, NBA. Stuff like that on how
real people sport.
Yeah, real people, real sports. Hashtag real sports.
Hashtag sports.
But they were taking cues more than like from real sports, from peers that have more experience. Really, there's no shame in looking at like industries that have been around to
see what works.
Yeah, I mean, it makes sense, doesn't it? It's been around since like.
It says having to waste time trying to figure it out.
So what they said would happen is they said that they were gonna make teams for every city, for like every major city. So there'll be a team for like all the cities in America, and a team for like Liverpool, and a team for Manchester, and a team for New York, and a team for like Chicago and whatever, right? So those teams exist, and they exist today. But to make them into a competing team, someone has to go and buy the rights to that team. So I say I was a millionaire, because this stuff is expensive, and we'll talk about that in a bit. But they didn't say that originally. They were just like, say you wanted to buy a team, you make an offer to Blizzard for that slot, and then they talk you through the paperwork, and if all goes well, they accept the offer, and you get that slot, and you get to get players and sign them on, and they get to represent that place in the Blizzard League, right? So you get to make the Liverpool team, for example, and you pick players, and they're like a roster. They also said, so that was kind of the structure side of it. They also said that they were going to have minimum wages, minimum salaries for the players. All players would be salaried, and they'd have to have a minimum salary of a certain amount. They said that they wanted player lifespans in the league to be longer. They said that they wanted teams to be more...
Well, lifespans? Is it? What do you mean?
Yeah, they just put the way. When the bottom team loses in Smite and stuff, they kick them off. They're not allowed to play Smite anymore ever.
Yeah, pretty much.
Legit?
Legitimately in other esports, like when a team loses, lots of those players retire pretty much straight away. Like,
wow.
It's just like
it's hardcore.
Yeah, the turnover for players is insane. We're talking like years, like a year average. I think like the best players tend to hold on for like 3 years. And then it's
was it Allied lasted like 4 in Smite, I think.
Yeah, I think like Dende's still playing Dota, which is crazy. It's been like 8 years, but he's not playing.
He's the anomaly.
Yeah. He is very, very, very much the anomaly. But they wanted that to be longer, and they wanted that to be longer. What they said was for the players, but I think there's another reason for that, and I think sports are more interesting when players have names and they build legacies than like when players turn over like every year.
This is why I like this Overwatch thing, because the one that I watch the Smite championships whenever they're on most of the time. Yeah, and like almost every time you see the teams, they've got like almost an entirely new like roster. Yeah. And it's just like, what is the point of these teams? It's irrelevant. It's just like Team A, Team B, and now Team A is now Team C. And then Team C is also Team D. That's the other
thing. Their entirely new roster is sometimes the roster of a previous team. Oh. So it's like Arsenal just fires all of its players, and suddenly they hire all of Man United's players, and they're like, hey, we're Arsenal now.
Yeah. Basically.
It's just like, what the frick? And then they'll change their name as well. They'll change their name to like Manu Arsenal or something new. And it's just like,
that sounds like a disaster.
Come on.
Manu Arsenal.
So that's the other thing. They wanted teams. So they wanted the teams, by doing the whole bidding thing, the teams would be locked and stable, and they wanted the players to be locked and stable by requiring certain rights to be fulfilled if you were going to buy a team slot for your players, right? So it was a lot of talk.
It's ambitious.
Yeah, that was my reaction to it. Was pretty much when it came out. I was like, that sounds impossible.
Especially for a brand new league. Like, God.
Like, and
I'm going to be willing to put money into it, surely.
Yeah, that's what I thought. But I have some news today. A lot of news came out over the last 2 weeks about the Overwatch League, which had been silent for so long that I thought it might have been dead before it started. Whoa! Wind is hosting us. Thanks, Wind.
Woohoo!
But yeah, what they ended up... So the first piece of news that came out, I'll kind of run through it, is that there was a rumor that the chairman and chief executive officer of Kraft, the Kraft cheese group in America, and the owner of the New England Patriots, was going to buy a slot in the Overwatch League.
Whoa.
Yeah.
And
whoa.
The rumor was that he was
the cheese mogul.
The rumor was that he was going to buy that slot for $2 million. and then after that, the week after that, 5 old Overwatch professional teams retired, and they said they wouldn't be able to compete in the league. And people were saying that it's probably they didn't have the finances to buy in because of how high the bar was rumored to be set. Well, last week we got official placements of the first 7 teams in the league. So it turned out the New England Patriots rumor was true, and the guy had bought a slot for Boston. So he now owns the Boston slot in the Overwatch League for millions of dollars.
Why is the New England Patriots manager getting involved? I mean, it's good because
it's crazy.
It'll give it exposure as well, but it's just so random.
Dude, he's not the only one. Jeff Whipton or Wilpon, sorry, the owner of the New York Mets, bought a slot for New York. And there was another guy, the guy who owns Immortal Esports, bought the slot for Los Angeles. Immortal's a pretty big esports group, and the first on this list of like the esports groups. But there are a few esports groups, which is good because I feel like they have experience with the industry, but also Blizzard's pricing isn't representative. Like, it's not like, oh, this one guy paid $2 million, these are all $2 million slots. It's kind of more of a betting scheme. So, like, some slots will sell for cheaper. Like, you know, Sudan, I could probably buy it. But like,
it kind of sucks, the whole bidding thing. Because, like, these teams that retired because they couldn't afford to fund it or whatever. They could be legit potential and like
some of them
were really good players.
Some of them were big. Like one of them was NGR, which like Andy will know is a big competitor in Smite.
Yes, NGR. Yes, I recognise that name.
Yeah,
I don't know anyone who plays with them because it changes every year.
Yeah, but they also own CS:GO teams and stuff like that. So like that like I was worried when they stepped down that like they would lose, because I want the experience from these guys that own like the Mets and whatever, but I also want the experience from the guys who like have been playing esports their whole life. Like I think both of those
the actual players.
But apparently they did get some esports teams. They also got the owner of Misfit Gaming bought Miami, Orlando, and NGR Esports came back. Speak of the devil. And they ended up buying San Francisco. They bought a slot for San Francisco, which probably was pretty expensive. Some guy called NetEasy bought Shanghai. I don't know who they are. And the founder of a company called Kambam bought Seoul, Korea.
Kambam?
Yeah, apparently it's like an entertainment company. But lots of big... I approve
of this name.
Big names, lots of money. Lots and lots of money. Changing hands. So Blizzard is apparently pitching this thing well because they're convincing big people to spend big dollars on it. And getting the money coming in is one thing, but like managing and executing, because I feel like they've made it
work. It's a big thing to manage.
Yeah, I feel like they've made it like it's going to be a really big hit and miss thing for the entirety of esports. I feel like as a concept.
Think it looks like, with the whole buying into franchise thing, it's kind of like how America does their football league. It's like for there, you have to buy a franchise and then it gets inserted in the top league straight away. So I think that's the thing. What does it David Beckham was doing in Florida? I think. But yeah, so they have to. I think you have to make a bid and you have to like prove a certain amount of things. Like you can have a stadium and you've got like grounds for it, and if there's enough of like interest in the area. And then you get inserted straight into the top league, so you don't have to like come through the system or anything like that. It's like come from the lower leagues. But you said there was a bit of news saying they're trying to put extra like lower leagues into it and put relegation to promotions, right?
Yeah. Honestly, the details on that are pretty sparse. Like
that's going to take a long time to set up. But I feel like
it was just kind of like off the cuff comments and interviews and stuff. Like them saying like, we wouldn't be opposed to like relegation type structures and stuff like that.
If I was in charge of this, that would be the sort of thing I would want to bring in, because it would mean it wouldn't gate it off to like only who could pay for it. Because obviously, maybe if you wanted to buy in at the bottom end, like say if there's 3 leagues, you could like buy into the bottom league with less money, and then you can sort of get lesser known players or more promising like people, and then start to build your way up like the football leagues we have.
Yeah.
But then it makes it more interesting in the end.
Could become the Dagenham and Redbridge.
Yes, scenes.
The
Because there'd be like, and it'd probably be better for the leagues in general. Because if there's just one league, no one's going to get relegated, and it's just like there's not really once you're like out of like the winners race, it's like.
They don't want it to turn into football either, where it's dominated by money.
Yeah.
Where money dictates the winner and loser. Which I guess a lot of things that naturally happens, but it's kind of suck if that's what ends up happening.
Yeah, it's nighttime. That's how that works. It's dark at nighttime.
Some other news came out from the Overwatch League as well. We're talking about the Overwatch League, by the way, Nia. Welcome.
Yes.
And this was, so the other side of that contract that I said that these guys had to sign to buy slots in the league, I'm sure there's a lot of requirements that we'll never know about because those contracts are obviously private. But there are some requirements that we do know about, and those are the ones in regards to players. And Blizzard has officially set a minimum salary for any player playing in the league to $50,000 a year.
Pretty solid.
Which is not a bad... That's like, I mean, that's a lot of money. And like, as a starting thing for this thing that could kick off, like, that's pretty solid. $50,000 a year is definitely enough money to take care of yourself. You know what I mean?
$50,000 a year? God damn.
Yeah. On top of that, they all have to be provided with healthcare. And the team itself, like the players, have to receive a minimum of 50% of the prize pool if they win any like prizes. Which 50% sounds like, oh, that's not even that like much of an ask, but in the past, teams have received as low as 5% of a prize pool, and like the manager and stuff. I've taken the majority of it. It's been pretty awful. So it's a pretty decent requirement. All in all, I mean, and plus the salary is like the prize pool isn't even that big a deal. Like you get to play esports professionally, and you get to be paid enough to live. Like I'm sure a lot of people will be happy just to do that. Like ignoring
just
the
to
prize
have
pool.
to have a second job to make it work.
50k, and that's was that potential in it. Yeah, I mean, and that's also starting salary. Like you got to remember, the better players will demand more money. Like it's just gonna be a thing. Like instantly off the bat, you're gonna be seeing stuff in the 100,000s. Like I don't imagine it staying to 50 too long. So basically, we're saying, Mia, get on it.
Yeah, sort it out. Come on. Can I? Wait, what?
Be esport man in Overwatch.
Can you be an Overwatch caddy? Can I do that?
I wonder if they need to pay rent if their team's a house. From what I've seen, I haven't seen any requirements on housing them, but I imagine a lot of people will, just because they'll want to have their teams together for like training and crap like that. It's kind of standard practice nowadays.
Yeah.
Played 12 games and almost plat.
Yeah, you can do it. You can do it.
You can do it, man. You're gonna be the best. I believe in you.
Ultimate Overwatch champion.
Yeah. Addressing rosters and team composition, Blizzard also clarified that teams can have between 6 and 12 players, and there is no region locking on the basis of the players' home countries or nationalities. You can find all the details in the Overwatch League websites. But yeah, so teams will be a maximum of 12 players. Obviously, that'll be with people on the bench. You're not going to have 12 players on one team playing at the same time. Overwatch is a 6-man game.
But what if you have like someone on this side of the controller and someone on that side of the controller?
I feel like that should be allowed. I feel like that should be allowed.
Way too messy.
I have one person with the mouse and then another with the keyboard.
Insert NA name full of Koreans. Yeah, I mean, that will be a thing. It will be a thing.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
Because of the lack of region locking. But I mean, I feel like eventually with like, if the league goes well with like benefits like this, like it's gonna, like, people can finally be like, I want to be an esports player as a career.
Yeah,
you know,
and be like a actual like legitimate career, right?
Yeah. So
only if it was in a game I was good at.
Quality. Well, that's the other thing, is if it goes well, you can imagine other games will follow suit. That's one of the big problems with esports, though, that I feel, is that there are so many video games. You know what I mean? Sure. Like, football is football. You know, and there's like 5 sports that people care about on the spectrum of sports. But like games, they're like, you know,
there's a lot. There's more than 5. Tell you that.
So I don't think many games can succeed, even if
you need to have the right sort of game to have a esport, don't you?
Necessarily. And I was telling Nia I had other issues with Overwatch as an esport. I feel like almost every esport has not figured out this camera thing, like as a spectator. They're all pretty horrendous to watch. The best of them would probably be things like Dota and League, but that's a side effect of them being top-down games, so you can show so much, you know?
Yeah, you can get such a wide view of them.
Field. But as soon as you go to Counter-Strike or Overwatch, it's like, oh, I'm following one player, I'm following another player. I'm not getting...
It's really hard to keep an bigger picture going. Like, you can't really tell what's the larger...
When there's 12 people on a map, you're missing something all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's not great. And I don't know how you do it better. I don't know if it'd be... You know what would be really cool and really complicated?
Tell me.
Have a map in the top corner that tracks all of the players' locations and what they're doing, right?
And then
also... Sorry, yeah, come.
No, carry on.
And then I was going to say, and then also like in the main screen have the professionally selected and edited and choreographed like camera like that they currently do, but then also have the option for players to select people to see that point of view if they want to look away from what the main stage is showing. Which would be really hard to execute.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that would, because you'd need a lot of interaction going on all the time.
Yeah. But it'd be
then
so
you
cool.
get knobheads that just click through each thing and just try and crash it.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, there's also that.
100%.
I would probably try and crash it.
GameSpot needs to be open.
No, you were just testing a
survive. But yeah, that's it. That's my news.
It is?
No, it's my turn now.
Only took me an hour.
This turn. I don't have any news.
My news is it's not going to be as huge as Kamal. It's just
Cam's presence is enough.
Yeah, that's all we need.
Thank you, Kamal.
So, my first bit of news is you may have seen that Pokemon Go tried to have a festival. It tried being the optimum word.
People flew to America for this!
Yeah, so...
Oh, really?
Why would you ever trust Niantech was anything?
Yeah,
Sorry,
so
Niantech.
Niantech absolutely whiffed it at hosting an event.
Yeah.
And then, I think it was like the week after that, a little town in England called Chester, which I've been to, had a history-themed Pokemon Go Day, because it was based on like the Heritage Festival or something. And they wanted to draw people to because Chester's got a lot of like historical sites and like big like statues and stuff like that.
Chester's right here as well. I didn't know about this.
Chester's like on the border between Wales and it's just down the road.
I used to go to Chester Zoo all the time.
Yeah. And so they worked with the festival organisers who were called Big Heritage. They worked with Niantech to get like lots of Pokestops and gyms in Chester for like the weekend.
Yeah.
And it was really good. They had a legendary raid, which the one that didn't work in the actual Pokemon Go festival.
Yeah.
It actually worked in Chester.
Wow.
And
how did they screw it up so bad?
Okay.
Because apparently they've never hosted a big event and they didn't get people to do it.
It was like this Chester thing looks huge, but like the Niantech thing dwarfed it in scale. Which is one thing to point out, and the second thing is apparently they didn't talk to mobile networks about like the impending load, so no network knew what was happening. Yeah,
they were stupid and didn't think about it.
And then every mobile network just went down. Surprise, surprise. What did you expect?
Yeah, it's just like
they like DDoS the mobile network from a park is basically what they did.
Good effort to DDoS
so
mobile network. My God,
impressively stupid. Is that you would think like there would be one person in all of Niantech who, when they were organising the event, was like, "Guys, there's going to be a lot of people on their phones. Just think they're going to be able to handle it if we don't tell them about it." And they were like, "Nah, it's fine, don't worry about it." And then they should have worried about it.
Yeah,
I should have. I'm worried about it.
They're like the Niantech's incompetence does not fail to surprise me, ever. And you know, it was It was like they were hosts, so they were Twitch streaming this event, which is surprising. And in the background of the Twitch stream, you could just hear crowds of people chanting,
"We want Pokemon Go."
Yeah, or like, "We can't play, we can't."
Really?
Like in the background of the Twitch stream,
really bad.
and the hosts are just trying to keep going, like. And they're like, "Oh, look at the thing happening on screen!" And look in the background, you just hear, "We can't play." It's like, Jesus Christ, what a train wreck!
Yeah.
They ended up refunding everyone their ticket prices, $100 a ticket, and they offered everyone free legendaries as compensation. But you know what? People weren't happy with that, surprisingly. And
funnily enough, I bet they didn't refund everyone's flights to America or
exactly.
journeys into the city, wherever it was.
There's currently a class action lawsuit being filed against Niantech.
So the moral of the story is, if you're going to organise a big event, maybe hire some experts to help you do it.
Yeah. Or, as a massive tech company, be experts in your field, please. Yeah, you're a mobile tech company. What are you doing?
How's a big company like that not have any expert on big events? Especially in this industry, it's so stupid.
They all got free Articunos.
I thought it was Moltres, so was that what they were supposed to... No, they were supposed to catch them.
Oh, no, wait, sorry, it was free Lugias. There were Articunos at the event, and Moltres is out now, or something like that?
Yeah, Moltres is the one that they just released now. Articuno is who they wanted to catch, but they gave out Lugias. Was that right?
Yeah, I think that's right. Either way, they definitely gave out legendaries for free.
They couldn't catch one legendary. One's just been released, and they had to give out another legendary.
I was reading.
I'm still impressed that people play Pokemon Go.
I know, right?
It's changed a lot since last I played it. Apparently,
I thought it was gonna die. But
I was weirded out that Luke was still playing Pokemon Go when we went to EGX last year. So that's how surprised I am that this is still going.
I tried to play Pokemon Go. I probably would play it still now, but it doesn't work on my phone.
It's
I played it a little bit, but it's just like
I probably would have kept on playing Pokemon Go if Niantech knew how to make a video game.
It would help if
I played it longer than it had any right to be played for, in my opinion, because I thought it other than it being Pokemon playing on my nostalgia, I thought it was a pretty bad game. And to be fair to them, since then it has changed a lot. Gym battles have been completely changed. There are raids, there are better drop rates, that leveling is easier. They fixed a lot of the problems, but that should have been what it launched was. It really launched in a very beta state, And then I don't know if you guys remember, but a month in, they broke the radar, and it was broken until I stopped playing. It was broken for 7 months. On a final game, it was what is this? What is
a final game at that point? It was just the continually broken piece of trash.
Let's all play Dokkan. Neo wants us to play his money grabbing crap. His money grabbing.
Is that the Dragon Ball Z thing with the cards?
Yeah, it's his money grabbing gotcha game.
No, you're good now. I'm okay. Sorry.
Neo's got some badass characters in that game though. But yeah, moral of the story: don't be dumb, Dumbo.
Don't be Niantech.
Don't be stupid.
No one wants to be Niantech.
Don't be Niantech.
Yeah.
But I'll have their money though.
Yeah. They are still making bank because people complain a lot, but apparently still play the game tons. So hey.
Pokemon. Yeah.
Give me the money, but everything else.
Different big company, but one that actually addressed complaints this time.
What?
So, if you cast your mind back to
1995.
Not quite 1995.
September 27th. Kamal was born.
That's just okay. Let's just.
So. Is that like a reminder for your birthday?
Yeah, get me stuff. No.
Everyone get Kamal stuff for his birthday.
Kamal stuff, everyone. Make a note.
You heard it here first. Oh, what are these cats doing?
In one of the podcasts before we went on hiatus, we talked about how For Honor had a potential to be a good game, but it had trash servers because they're all P2P.
Mm-hmm.
But now, as of last week, I believe, it's finally been updated to have dedicated servers, which is impressive just in the fact that it's Ubisoft actually addressing complaints from customers, which is something that never happens ever.
Can I be like devil's advocate? I'll let you finish. Though. I'll let you finish. I'm not gonna Kanye you. I'm actually gonna let you finish.
Okay, so in March, the foreign players were threatening to boycott the game because it was like that bad. And then in their online systems, because of the way this was done, there was someone who was top of their leagues for a while, because he would just drop and rejoin, and the servers were organised in a way that he wasn't punished for that, because he dropped within like the first 30 seconds or something.
Yeah.
And then, so if everyone had like really good internet connections, it would have been fine with this way that they used it. But if there's like any lag, it all gets sort of all the calculations that start to make everyone's things drop and stuff.
Yeah.
So it just makes it generally, if everyone has perfect internet connections, it works fine. But if anyone has any issues, it just sort of makes it all garbage, and that's why they needed dedicated servers as opposed to P2P.
Okay. Oh god, I'm two devil's advocates now.
Oh my god, it's double
devil advocating.
So are you devil's advocating your own devil's advocate,
okay,
or are you?
No, I mean like I was gonna say, I'm by the way proponent for dedicated servers all day every day. But P2P can be executed in a fairly good way, and it has been done before.
Yes.
For Honor was not just a P2P execution, but also a bad one at that. Was like what I wanted to highlight, because like for example, Destiny has been P2P since it released, and while Destiny has had problems, like it's not like its competitive multiplayer has never been the worst thing in the world.
Yeah, I guess it just depends on the way it's done, right? So
yeah. I mean, when you've got like the thing with P2P though is it requires a really amazing execution to be good. Dedicated servers just requires a regular execution to be good. Like it's hard to fail. Was the dedicated server?
Yeah, which is why you should just go for dedicated servers, you would think, because it's just
it costs a lot of money.
Easier. I mean, yeah, you're a game, but you're probably going to make a lot of money. Right? If you're
be a big... you should bet on your game. I completely agree.
If you're going for like, I don't think my game's going to do very well. So surely you should just believe in yourself a little bit. Don't make me sad.
Yeah. The other thing I was going to say was, while this is a good thing, and I won't take away that it's a good thing, as Nia said, people still play For Honor. What? Huh? He's not wrong. Actually, it's too little too late from Ubisoft, to be honest. This is a curve of For Honor at play times over its launch. So this is from February 2017 till today. It has lost 92% of its player base.
Yeah, this has definitely become that sort of cult game that only like a certain amount of people play.
Yeah, it's just not.
That is crazy.
It's not.
I feel like that was almost not as much to do with the servers and more of the fact that the game just wasn't as interesting as people thought it was going to be.
Well, I think it's a little bit of both. Like, I think you need that hardcore community to drive a game forward, and then like developers need to listen to that community and tweak the game in the direction that the community wants it to go in, so that it can be this feedback loop. You know what I mean? Like Overwatch is like really like kind of a master of this art of like making customers feel like they're listened to. You know, they every month they release a patch. Every month they get the head of the team to sit down and make a YouTube video directed to the fans. You know, where he talks about their problems and why they didn't fix some, or why they aren't fixing some, and what they have fixed and stuff. And it makes you feel as a player like they care. And
you get an attention from them.
Yeah. Yes. And then Ubisoft, on the other hand, was just plugs their ears and goes, la la la. Like,
shut up,
you know what they plug their ears with though, Kamal? They plug their ears with money. With them dollar
Which
bills.
is very true. Oh my god, they have mastered the art of like selling a game. Like, it doesn't matter if it's good. You just
if it doesn't work, just release another Assassin's Creed. It's fine.
Yeah, as Nia says, hey, it's Jeff from the Overwatch team. That's how he starts all those videos.
Are they like the reassuring words people hear in their head when they're like raging about an issue? Hey, it's Jeff from the Overwatch team. Oh yes, Jeff, thank you.
Same with Jeff.
All is good.
All is good in the world.
What else have I got? I've got
Has Ubisoft ever executed multiplayer correctly?
I will tell you. No.
There it is. Yep.
Yeah, I mean they had the Division, which was kind of like a disaster, but like and then they had For Honor, which is a disaster. And like they have all of the Watch Dogs games have
They've got a lot of disasters.
What Ubisoft's problem is they're those guys that like when they make a game they try to put everything in it. Like their games have to have multiplayer, and they have to have single player, and they have to have co-op, and they have to have stealth sections, and they have to have action sections, and they also have to let you be able to do this and that and X and Y. And then they just do everything like very mediocre.
How can you please everyone if you don't do everything?
Wait, did they do Far Cry 2 multiplayer?
They did, yeah.
Oh, I like that.
Yes.
Yeah.
I nailed that.
Yeah,
well, there you go.
That probably has a cult following bigger than For Honor now.
Yeah.
And Splinter Cell Blacklist, was that online multiplayer or just co-op? I don't know. I had to Google what games Ubisoft released. I'm just nodding off the top.
That's what I'm doing right. I'm doing that right now.
But like that, that just like it makes me not like. So they're releasing another multiplayer game very soon, called Skulls and Bones, right? Wasn't it called something like that?
Pirate one?
Yeah, which when they announced it as a pirate game, I was like, yes, and then they made it a multiplayer game. I was like, no. But it's gonna fail again because Ubisoft doesn't know how to do this.
Look, terrible name, Skulls and Bones.
I think it's saturate the market. Like 5 mediocre games will make as much money as one really good game.
Yeah,
easy. Boom. Don't have to try his house. It's great. Go for Ubisoft. I'm gonna be.
It is Skull and Bones.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, Skull and Bones.
I'm just super questioning myself after I said that because it sounded so dumb.
No, it's Skull and Bones.
You could work for
God,
Ubisoft.
Who did they pay to come up with these names? Because fire them now.
Just saw a pirate flag. Skull and Bones. That's what the flag is. Like, yep,
but it's Skull and Crossbones.
No, Skull and Bones. What are you talking about? Again, shut up. That's too long. Too long. It's not peppy enough.
Yeah.
It's got to have that pizzazz.
But it doesn't.
Look.
Gizmo and Flossie have more pizzazz down there.
Yeah, look, you know what we're going to do? You know what our next plan is? Was to release another Assassin's Creed. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, with the drone eagle.
Yeah, drone eagle. We'll just release another Assassin's Creed. If that doesn't work, we'll just remaster fucking Far Cry 3.
I wonder how much money. How much is Ubisoft worth as a company?
Way too much for being garbage.
Ubisoft.
Ubisoft.
Revenue for 2016 was 2.9 billion.
I don't want
it wasn't.
Ubisoft to fail. I just want them to get better.
Yeah,
like I don't think we have enough games companies that I want them to just close up shop and stop. And they have a lot of really talented people.
Just take the time. That's all they need to do.
Their games are technically very impressive. They're just they're never unique or they miss that spark of passion that a lot of really great games have.
I think it can be somewhat hard to create something really unique nowadays. So
definitely,
because you've got to take inspiration from stuff that already exists. Which then, as soon as you do that, it's like, you're copying it, and it's like, well. No, it's just there's not much else new now.
I agree, but I think my issue with Ubisoft game is I'll play a game let's see, Horizon Zero Dawn is a great example because there is nothing in Horizon Zero Dawn that is new.
Mm-hmm.
That would be my biggest pet peeve. Was it? If I was to review Horizon Zero Dawn, I know a lot of people gave that game 10 out of 10, and I gave Legend of Zelda 10 out of 10. And my argument for the reasoning of not giving Horizon Zero Dawn 10 out of 10 would be that nothing in that game is new. But the alternate argument, and the argument that people that love that game have, is that Horizon Zero Dawn did everything that other games have done before, other RPGs have done before, but it did every one of those things better than any other RPG before it. So it was this perfection of a genre instead of, and then Nintendo went in another direction and they just redid the genre completely.
I guess you could say you could either innovate or you could perfect something that already exists. You don't have to do both.
Yeah, but
just try to do something.
And Ubisoft games also feel very much top down, in the sense that it feels like the business side of the company just tells the creative side of the company do this, and they don't give the creative side much wiggle room.
Yeah.
Which never makes a product that feels like, interesting. I guess it just always feels kind of dry.
That balance, I suppose.
In my honest opinion, Witcher 3 greater than Horizon Zero Dawn for open world game. I mean, it doesn't matter because Legend of Zelda is better than both of us. So no, yeah, I think that's definitely a fair opinion. Witcher 3 is definitely. Oh, Cam. Okay. Andy, sorry, I don't know why I said Cam.
What did I do?
What about Mass Effect Andromeda then? Kamal blamed you for it.
Keep me away from Mass Effect. I've started the last 3 games. I've never finished a single one.
Up from all those idiots.
From choice, I decided not to finish a single one. Unlike the Destiny 2 beta, which I tried to complete 5 times.
Dude, I'll give you. I'll give you the Witcher 3.
I feel like Scalebound will come out before I finish the Destiny 2 strike.
It's entirely possible.
I will give you the Witcher 3.
You got it there. You got it.
Probably has better characters and a more unique story and better world design or whatever. But graphically, Horizon Zero Dawn is way more impressive than Witcher 3. That just like technically, it's a bigger. It's just factually true. Like Witcher 3 is a pretty game, but Horizon Zero Dawn is newer, and they use the fact that they were newer to do stuff that Witcher 3 couldn't do, and it pays off. Witcher 3 though is, however, getting a 4K patch for Xbox One and PS4. We'll see if after that patch all looks better.
Good. So I'm going to move on to something slightly more retro.
Yeah, 100%.
I was looking at some random Kotaku articles to see if there was something on the news, and apparently a mint condition sealed copy of the original Super Mario Bros. For that. Not the SNES, for the NES, sold at auction for 23 grand.
Whoa!
On the 26th of July.
Most of the time when I see these things, I would say that's stupid. But Super Mario Bros. Is genuinely a piece of history.
Yeah, it's like
it's
an antique.
I kind of like the fact that it's also still got the M price sticker on it. Do you want to know how much it actually cost in 1980 whatever?
Yeah.
3 cents.
No. Way more than that.
$10.
I can see it, so I'm not going to guess.
$40.
Less than that.
$30.
$26.99.
Ooh.
Okay, I want to calculate how much that is in dollars today. What year did it come out on?
23,000, Kamal.
Yeah, I mean, actually, yeah, very true. So someone tell me when Super Mario Bros. Came out.
Super Mario Bros. Was
1982.
On September 13th, 1985.
Ah.
That was pretty close, wasn't it? 83?
1985?
Yes.
Okay, that's not going to be as interesting. That's not that old. $61 if you just factor for inflation.
So that's as much of an Xbox One game right now. Or PS4
so game prices have actually increased pretty consistently. That's impressive.
That's kind of weird. That's
really weird.
Yeah, it went from $26.99 to $61 to $23,000. That's a margin right there.
The best part of this auction is it started off at 1 penny.
You know the issue I find? Well, no, not the issue that I find with this stuff. Is the sad thing. If I kept Halo 5 in mint condition in its packaging and everything, that's never going to be worth that much.
No.
Because it's not the start of it, it's like halfway through.
It's an iconic game, yeah.
And also everything's digital now, so there's no real need for the physical copy anyway.
Yeah, there's no original.
So, our generation, I guess, maybe we can.
For much stuff.
I guess maybe the first VR headset, like the Oculus, well, not the Oculus Rift, but whatever the first VR headset is. But even then, I feel like our generation or the next generation isn't going to appreciate it as much because they've been brought up with it.
Yeah, the closest thing I've got to that is I've got some of my old Pokemon cards, which will probably be worth something at some point. but it's not the
You
same
have your
thing.
Pokemon cards still?
Some of them are definitely worth something.
I've got a foil Charizard.
There's a lot of
Didn't we talk about this?
We did, because you brought it up in an article.
I was going to say, I'm pretty sure I brought an article about someone selling this.
And you were like, you'd look into it, and you never did.
Yeah, then I realised my Pokemon cards are still up in the attic, and I really can't be asked to go get them.
Next generation kids are going to enjoy these things. These are going to be antiques.
Yeah.
Don't ask me why I have one.
Cam, why do you have one of those? Cam,
dude, I know, Cam. Freaking, buy more. Buy me one, Cam. Screw you, Andy. I'm so fed up with people like freaking crapping on fidget spinners. Just let people like fidget spinners.
I don't know where mine is. I lost mine.
For branding at work, if you must know. We were considering branding fidget spinners and giving them out to clients.
Oh my god, you should have.
I mean, that would have been, yeah.
We looked into it
3 weeks ago.
I'll go, like, find the most corporate guy ever and be like, we need this company to work at Sky so they can give us free fidget spinners.
I'm gonna die because I've got a fidget spinner. What the hell?
Alright.
People are so freaking sensitive about fidget spinners. It's ridiculous.
You're true, I can go die. I'm not gonna, but I could.
Why are people so mad about it? It's like, they're dumb spinny things. Who cares?
People enjoy stuff, man.
They're low-key fun as well, just to sit here spinning it. Like, I fidget, it does the job.
That's the point, isn't it? It's the whole point. That's why I've got that little cube.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got one of those.
Which, I will say, it probably is a better fidget tool than fidget spinners. But still.
It doesn't have a spinny bit on it, Kamal, look. Where's the spin?
Yeah, but it's more like interactive, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's the thing, like, a fidget spinner would never work for fidgeting for me because it's not interactive at all.
Yeah, look, I got this cool.
Yeah, I have one of those.
I must admit, I do find the fidget spinner a bit more fun.
Yeah, chill. Yeah,
look, it's the same as mine, but yours
that's
is
the thing.
color.
I feel like the fidget spinner is more of a toy. Like I enjoy watching a fidget spinner, but like if I'm working on something, I can have a fidget cube in my hand and my hands just go to town on their own, like as a subconscious thing. But like the fidget spinners draw my attention to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What is your favourite bit on this?
The light switch for me.
Yeah, that's mine too.
I was gonna say, I like the ball bearing.
I like the light switch, but it annoys people at work because I'll just sit there clicking it.
Yeah, it's very loud. Oh.
Some ASMR right there.
We have fallen down this hole.
I like the buttons as well.
I like the ball bearing.
Oh, the little gears next to the ball bearing there, kind of.
I don't like the gears as much. I like the ball bearing because it's tactile. I don't know why. But I guess that's my thing. Yeah, anyway, I'll put that down. But yeah, what were we talking about?
Smash, Super Mario.
No,
Mario.
I got rid of that one because it was stupid and I don't care about it anymore.
Super Mario?
No, the other one, the Smash one.
Wait, there was a Smash one?
Well, not anymore, there ain't, don't worry about it.
Oh, there wasn't, Kamal.
Yeah, there was. No, there wasn't.
Yeah, it's not important.
I read it and I completely forgot. Anyway.
Yeah, so I read it and I was like, I don't know why I put this up there because it's a waste of time and I'm bored of it.
Fair enough.
But yeah, this dude who bought it, the one who bought it for 20 odd grand,
yeah.
He bought several others at the same time, and like just to compare the differences, the original Kid Icarus he bought that for £8,500.
Yeah.
Kid Icarus, what was that?
I don't know, I guess
it's pretty, yeah.
I reckon that.
It's a game from the same sort of era, but it's a different character. But I guess it shows you how much it's worth compared to like a character that everyone knows. Like Mario's so popular, it's literally triple the value for all that. It's
pretty well known if you're a Nintendo person.
I think he was in one of the Super Smash Bros. Games.
Yeah, I mean he's in the Super Smash Bros. Games, and he has a bunch of his own like 3DS games and DS.
Yeah, I'd never played. I did not know anything about that.
Yeah.
But the first time I'd heard of him was when he appeared on one of the Smash games.
Yeah.
Who bought these things? Just some dude.
I think it was a guy who was...
Yeah. DK Oldies.
What?
That's what he's
called. Really?
I think Oldies is about...
He's the CEO of...
game collecting company or something, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I was going to say, is there just some random guy who has £23,000 and is like, yeah, I want to buy Mario?
That's usually how it works, to be fair.
Will that go up in price? Is that like an investment for someone, or is that just someone who appreciates that and wants to display it?
You must just have like a whole like room full of like old ass games and stuff.
I don't think at this point it's. I don't.
23,000 seems like a peak.
Yeah, for sure. Like I could see it going up, but not like to the point that you would consider it an investment. Like maybe you sell it for like, yeah.
It's weird because it's not a rare game. There's like loads of copies of it.
Yeah, this is just because it was perfect, right?
Yeah, I think this is probably one of the best conditioned ones ever because it's still in its packaging and all that.
Yeah.
How do people?
I mean, if I was a billionaire, I'd buy it.
Oh yeah,
because like money doesn't exist to me anymore.
Yeah, I was like, what is money? So you just walk around and say, "I'll buy that. I'll buy that. I don't care."
If you're a billionaire,
you can't spend your money fast enough. Yeah.
You don't have any idea of what's going in and out of your bank.
No.
Yeah, you've got no idea what the concept of money is anymore.
Yeah, you just like you see something, it's yours.
Like,
why not?
Literally, hundreds of thousands of people could be leeching off your bank account. You wouldn't notice.
Yeah,
because you wouldn't need to. And that's crazy. That's crazy. That's such a freaking insane concept.
You're a billionaire and like someone stole like 25 grand from your bank account and be like, whatever.
You wouldn't even see it.
Someone could tell you and you'd be like,
Yeah.
How do these billionaires quantify what they have? Because you like, say if they look at their account and it's got all these zeros, they cannot go to a bank and be like, "I want to withdraw it all."
Oh,
like,
I would if he's that rich, you'd go to a bank and be like,
I'll tell you, millionaires often. Actually, you're 100% right.
That money does not exist.
If the three richest men in the world tried to withdraw all of their money in cash today, it would tank the global economy. Because the money doesn't exist. So they would bankrupt pretty much every country.
Spending money.
How do they...
But what they tend to do...
How do they sleep at night? In the finest silk sheets is how they sleep at night.
Yeah. Egyptian cotton.
I mean, lots of them, to be fair to billionaires, like... When you go look at like the list of the top like 50 richest people, most of them have signed some form of like major charitable donation or death or like whatever. Like they're not like there are billionaires that are just like, this is my money. Which is so confusing to me because you have so much money, who cares? But like lots of them are also like pretty decent.
Yeah, you gotta have some. You'd feel like
to be fair to billionaires, Nia's like, no, come on, it's not fair. To be fair, Nia, you're right. It's not fair, full stop. Yeah, I mean, the world like it's just a side effect of an unfair like world. Like, if people can be richer than other people, some people have to be that rich. Like, it's gonna happen.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
But yeah, lots of billionaires like the Walmarts, like the Walmart family, or like the 5 oldest in that family are billionaires, and they do not donate anything to charity. They're very anti-charity, actually, vocally.
Why?
I don't know. I just
they don't care about people.
Probably, but like people like that invent things to spend money on. So like. A billionaire thing to buy with your money to make yourself feel good is like a super yacht. Like they literally they took a yacht. They were like, yachts are expensive things, right? And they were like, okay, dude, make us a yacht that is like a skyscraper on its side. And they call them super yachts, and they cost billions. And like they're like one of the few things in the world that costs billions, because they only cost billions because billionaires are the only people that want them, so they just set the price tag at $1 billion. Like, it's so stupid.
How can you be anti-charity? Like, if you don't want to donate, not fair enough, but if you don't want to donate, then that's your decision, you don't want to donate. But how can you be actually anti-donating?
I don't know.
Although people hate it.
Just be massive dick. I don't know, it's just
I have all
whatever.
this money that I could help people with.
Whatever.
Nah.
Yeah, it's just...
I wanna.
I need it all. I need to sleep on my bed of money with a massive dick in my mouth.
Yeah.
God. Yeah. Sorry. Carry on.
I mean, I'd sleep in a bed of money if that was like the only price I had to pay.
Yeah, I'm down. Yeah. It's a win-win, right?
Oh, look at him. Look at the little guy.
Yeah, the visitor.
Alright.
Gizmo.
What else we got, Andy?
believe this is where you try to show your our new thing now.
Woohoo! What are we watching?
It's interesting.
Well, we've got the
Super trailer time.
We could have a third one, but
I feel like let's save that one for later. So we do mine first, since I'm on my link dump, and then we'll do Cam's.
yeah, and then we'll end with my hypey one.
Yeah, we'll end up with Luke's to them. The hype here. So this is a trailer. This is the second trailer for it. But do you want to tell us about what our new thing now? Come on.
I wanted to do something for the return of Spawn Point, and I couldn't think of anything great. So I was like,
way to sell it. Come on, good job.
We watch trailers a lot, and I was like, it'd be cool if we could have the trailers full screen for everyone watching at home. So yeah, I made a more minimalist template that got rid of our faces and the chat so that we could watch trailers. And you're right, we should get some sprites and eat popcorn.
We can note that for later. I'll also point out that this trailer was sent to me by Hook, because I stole it from them.
Sweet.
So shall we play?
Yeah. 3, 2, 1, go.
When you're a kid, you think the universe revolves around you. You think that you'll always be protected and cared for. Then, one day, you realize that's not true. Because when you're alone as a kid, the monsters see you as weaker. You don't even know they're getting closer. Till it's too late.
I'm definitely having nightmares tonight.
My grandfather thinks this town is cursed. That all the bad
Oh
things
my
that
god,
happen
the
in this
cat
town
just
are because
jumped.
of one thing. An evil thing.
Bill, if you'll come with
Oh my
me,
word, no.
too.
I can't do it. I can't do it.
You exactly out.
Yeah, I saw him too.
I just get creepy.
What happens when another Georgie goes missing?
Oh my word, what the
One of
hell?
us. Are you just gonna pretend it isn't happening like everyone else in this town? If we stick together, we'll win.
Oh god, I hate this stuff.
What on earth? Oh my god. You don't like clowns, you don't want to see this movie, huh?
Help me, sure.
Whoa.
I mean,
That's a lot.
That's going to be in cinemas while we're at EGX.
No,
down.
not a chance. No, I'm getting in my car. I'm
I
driving
don't
home.
understand why this exists.
Same.
God, admit, had my eyes
Half closed. I didn't even have
Not a fan
them
of
open.
I think, and this is just a trailer. Like, scary atmosphere is much easier to set in like a full length feature like format. I feel like it's hard to make trailers scary. So I think that they did a pretty good job.
Yeah, I think it was a really good trailer. Apart from that end up with dolls in, because I actually hate dolls.
Well,
And that was creepy as heck.
yeah, I just don't know who felt like, I should make a horror film that just involves children dying and clowns and I just why does it Stephen King? What's wrong with you?
Yeah, Stephen King's fucking messed up, dude.
But it doesn't mainly involve clowns, right? The whole idea is that the creature does
Yes.
your worst nightmare thing. Like
The whole idea of Pennywise is he is the embodiment of your worst fear. Like I can't really talk about what he does, but it's like, yeah, if you've got a particular fear, he would manifest as that.
Is there a spell like in Harry Potter when you can you can change it into a funny thing?
Maybe try it. I don't know. Maybe try it. What was it? Was it a boggart? Was it?
Yeah, a boggart.
No, man, bro. I see clouds. It's a cloud movie. I'm right.
Okay. Are our cameras back on?
No.
Oh, because there's a look at Skype.
Yeah. Oh, one sec. Let me see quickly.
I have a cat.
Oh, look at her. Look at her, so cute.
Flosser, what are you doing? Yes?
Yeah. Right, Nia? Like, what's that stupid kid taking his thing back from the cloud?
To be like, nah, bro, you good?
Yeah, no, you wouldn't be an idiot, is what you'd be.
Yeah, dumb kid had what was coming to him. Stupid prick. Just be gas. Fucking loser. Yeah, overall, I think that was a really good trailer. Like you said, it's kind of hard to bring suspense into a short trailer, and I think it did a really good job.
Yeah, I don't want to see it.
I would probably go see it just to see how they're actually going to shoot that movie, because I know they sure as hell can't do half the things that happen. Because I told you about this last time we saw the first trailer.
Yeah, which is half the reason I'm like, no, this guy is broken as a man.
I just can't justify spending like what £12 on the cinema or whatever it is to be sat there and to just be
a weird ass face. I don't like it.
Shitting myself the entire time.
Yeah,
I just can't justify myself to do that.
No,
why you just paused it on that bit, Kamal?
I wanted to look at him because he looked like lanky, like in the scene.
True. He does have like a 6 head there. Yeah, he gets 6 fingers on.
The worst. Yeah, that was the worst part for me. Was the bit at the end with all the dolls, and I was just like, no, I hate that. That was the worst. Dolls are creepy.
But paper boats are expensive, says Luke. Yep.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So, what was our last trailer?
It's from me.
Yes.
From King.
Coming in, dropping these hype trailers.
It is a Pacific Rim trailer. Well, no, it's not a trailer. It's a
teaser.
Yeah, it's a
teaser. Yeah.
Which is, ready, steady, go.
What is a Jaeger? A Jaeger is the pinnacle of human invention. When the monsters came, we did not wait for heroes to fall from the sky and save us. We saved ourselves. Innovation is our superpower. What is a Jaeger? It's you, times 1,000. Tall as a mountain, with a beating heart that burns as bright as the sun. Enabling us all to become the most heroic version of ourselves.
Join the Jaeger Uprising.
I'm so glad. I want
I'm
to see
hyped.
more Pacific.
Yeah, that was pretty hype trailer.
Yeah, Nia, that is literally GLaDOS. Like it's GLaDOS' voice actor. It's the same woman. It's the same voice stuff. The thing is, Valve only has a copyright on the name GLaDOS, nothing about the voice. So as long as they don't call her GLaDOS, they could use it all day, all night.
She's in the first movie as well.
Yeah, she is.
Was she?
Like, she's really toned down though. So in the trailer, she was huge in the trailer.
Yeah.
For the first movie, and then
machine voices, and she's not focused on it all.
She is in there, but she's very much sort of a backdrop.
It's just a little it's a cool little Easter egg in the first one. Prequel or not, says Luke. Like, you only want it to be a prequel, or you are you asking if it's a prequel? The caps confuse me.
It's a sequel, though, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It better be a sequel, because they give you like a lot of information about the world before in the in one, so like it wouldn't be that interesting to me, in my opinion.
John Boyega is Idris Elba's son, or what?
Oh, did he marry and bang?
It has been 10 years since the Battle of the Breach, and the oceans are still.
How could he be his son in 10 years? How did he do that?
He could have still had him beforehand and just not mentioned it.
He just had his daughter.
Look, they want another movie.
Look, I'm alright with like black people and mechs fighting. I'm down.
The Jaeger program has evolved into the most powerful global defense force in human history. The PPDC, whatever the hell that is, now calls upon the best and brightest to rise up and become the next generation of heroes when the kaiju threat returns. Yeah, the crowd goes wild.
No, yeah, I'm hyped. Pacific Rim is just a fun film.
Yeah, I love it.
And
it's stupid.
I got my bro to watch it last weekend when I was in Liverpool. Well, the weekend before last.
Has he never seen it?
Yeah, he'd never seen it before. And I was like, they announced 2. We're gonna go watch 2 in the cinema. So you're gonna watch 1 now, so that when it comes out, we can go see it in the cinema. We don't have to have this problem that we will face.
There are plot hole after plot hole, but
it's just.
But it's a fun movie to watch.
Yeah, it's mechs though. It's just mechs fighting. It's like freaking
big robots fighting big monsters. That's all I want from it, and that's all you get.
Right? It's just, yeah. Who could not like a movie that does that?
I don't need anything else.
So,
it was good.
Yeah, I'm hype.
Aye.
Oh, look at that pose! You got it on a heroic pose.
Yeah.
Yes. Nice.
Mechs vs. mechs, please, at once, Luke.
That's just Transformers.
Yeah, I mean, but Transformers don't have little people inside of them, and that's half.
You don't know that? Have you seen inside of Transformers?
They do. Where do you think Shia LaBeouf went?
Yeah.
So...
That's why he's not an actor anymore. He's a Transformer.
He went inside Optimus Prime and never came out.
Yeah.
They say once you go.
Giant robot Transformer man.
You never
go back.
Yeah. You suffer catastrophic external injuries.
There's a ring to it, huh?
Yeah, right.
Alright. I mean, does anyone have anything else to say?